So I did not put this out, but like 5 minutes in advance. I'm not going to be on here long. I've had a rough day and I'm tired. But since I had that dream about those UFO deceptions and all that coming about 5 years ago, you can look back on my videos and see it. It's multiple times on there. But anyway, I know the Lord gives me dreams and visions and stuff like that, and they do come up. Hey, Brown Bear, how are you doing, sweetie? Yeah, I was just going to share some of this footage that they're talking about, that some people saw a creature in their yard between 8 to 10 feet tall that fell from the sky. And immediately, and this has gone global now. And they've known about it, I think, for 2 weeks. So I think they just released it last night. So like these Men in Black people even followed up with it. So I just was going to share this because I've had a crazy day. It's been kind of a rough day. I'm tired, so I'm not going to be on long. But when I saw this, I was just like, Lord, you never fail. Because he really did show me this was coming like way about over 5 years ago. So when I saw this, I had to share it. Hey, Diamonds Creations, how are you doing? I know. That's what I said. But I think they were afraid to go back there because I'm going to play it and it's going to talk about what the guy said and everything. And they said that those things are between 8 and 10 feet tall, possibly. And not only that, but, well, I'm going to explain. It's going to explain it on here, so we're going to go ahead and play it. Because here's the thing. And I immediately thought of Revelation 12:7 and about how it talks about the war broke out in heaven and that, Lucifer and a third of the angels, which are all of his troops, the fallen angels, they left their estate in heaven. Well, then buckle up, Brown Bear, because you're about to see it. I told you, because you were talking about, about what the doctor said and all that. Look, we may be very close in the end times, so we may all be going to glory soon, and we may not even have to taste death. So we're going to see about this. I'm going to go ahead and play it because it is quite interesting. Hi, Ricardo. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling better after the prayer. We're going to share this and see this. It's an interesting situation. You want to know about Revelations? Well, I believe here's Revelation 12:7 right here.
Southern Nevada is abuzz tonight with stories about the crash of an unknown object and the alleged sighting of strange creatures in the backyard of a Northwest Valley home.
So it was last night that 8 News Now investigator David Charnes reported about how Metro Police responded back on May 1st after receiving a strange call from a very frightened family. Well, our report generated a global response, and now piecing together the sequence of events has been kind of tricky, in part because the primary witnesses have been almost as elusive as the beings they say they encountered. Chief Investigator George Knapp is as perplexed as the rest of us, George.
As you know, this is not our first UFO rodeo. We first heard about the incident in early May via the Metro Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world: an alleged crash, strange beings, and bits and pieces that don't make sense. But the police took this seriously, and so do we. Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
8 News Now investigators have spoken with family members multiple times in the past 4 weeks, but each of the 3 times we accepted their invitation to do an interview, they didn't answer the door or their phone. These are some of the claims they've made in other public forums. Multiple family members backed up the story in an initial police report we obtained. Angel says they heard the patter of multiple feet in the yard. They later heard footsteps on their roof. They saw one of the 8-foot-tall creatures climb behind the controls of a large front loader stored in the yard, as if trying to engage it. He got a good look at one of the creatures, he said, a greenish-grayish being with large eyes and long legs. He says he could hear its deep breaths, and when he locked eyes, he was, in essence, frozen in place, couldn't move. In the middle of the yard, where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then had heard from other officers. They proceeded cautiously and managed some nervous laughs.
I ain't dealing with that.
A few days later, the family says 2 Metro sergeants returned to the scene to ask follow-up questions. The family says they also saw men in suits and sunglasses driving in a car with government plates cruising slowly past the house in the following days. Nellis and Creech have denied any interest or involvement with the incident. Metro has indicated they believe the family that something crashed in their yard. But what?
You mentioned, George, in that piece that, they were frozen because so many people have been critical of, like, why didn't they get their phone out? Why didn't they shoot the video? Do we know if there's even any video of this incident?
Yes and no. So there's a surveillance camera in the backyard. The property owner keeps that because he's got a lot of expensive equipment there. What we were told is that at the moment this thing comes down and crash, this camera went out, and it was out for a couple of minutes. When it came back on, the object was gone, but the circle was there. We've been told by Angel in multiple phone conversations that he shot video of the creatures. We haven't seen it, and we don't know anybody else who's seen it yet, so maybe he'll release it at some point.
It's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, all over.
All right, George, thanks for that.
So, people, yes, Book of Revelations. That's what I put. Book of Revelation, starting in verse 7. Revelation 12, verse 7. That's exactly what it made me think of. And guys, this is not the only thing about this. This has gone around it's gone globally. Here's another one. It's talking about.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Good evening. I'm Glenn Mills. Emily Flores has the night off. Thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. We begin tonight with a former intelligence and military official blowing the whistle about a secret government program he says has uncovered non-human spacecraft.
When you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds,
Brown Bear.
It's true.
The whistleblower, David Grush, says he turned evidence the UFO recovery program exists over to the Inspector General of the U.S. intelligence community. But lawmakers say they're not aware of a secret UFO recovery program.
I've seen no evidence of it whatsoever. And if there are actually aliens or spacecraft that exist in some warehouse, in a government warehouse somewhere, of course, I want to know as much as all of you.
Representative Dean Phillips says whether a secret government program has recovered UFOs and aliens deserves to be investigated by Congress.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us. and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually we're terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us.
All right, what we just heard is part of a 911 call from a family in Nevada saying they saw creatures walking around their backyard. This happening last Thursday. Now, most may think it's just a prank call, but moments before and not far from the family's home, a flash of light in the sky captured on police officer's body camera. Reporter David Charnes with our sister station KLAS in Nevada investigates.
It's almost midnight on May 1st when a Las Vegas Metro police officer's body cam catches this, something flashing low in the sky.
911 emergency.
Minutes later,
there's like an 8 foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Someone calls 911 reporting two large figures in their backyard. The 8 News Now investigators obtaining another officer's video as he's sent to the Northwest Valley home.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star. Then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
By now, it's more than an hour after that bright light. Officers meeting up with the caller and his family.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or
they see like a big, that's what they say. They see like a big something with light.
Police walk into the backyard to investigate, but Metro blacked out that part of the video because it's considered private property. What's clear? They're taking this call seriously.
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
Asking others what they saw.
I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further.
That investigation turning up no concrete answers as of Wednesday. Whatever or whoever fell into that yard, long gone within minutes.
Oh, hey, if those 9 foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
That was David Charnes reporting for us tonight. The American Meteor Society confirming several people across Eastern California, Nevada, even here in Utah, reporting seeing that same flash in the sky.
Okay, so there you go. That was definitely several different states that saw it. That was definitely, and I'm going to read to you from that scripture right now. This is Revelation 12. Okay. And art in the whole thing. Michael and his angels fought the dragon, and his angels but it's not strong enough to play in. This lost their pleasure. Do you remember? Actually, was talking, and he was asking him where he'd been, and of course, you know, I mean, God knew everything that we're talking about. Satan that I'm walking to and fro over the earth. See, I rebuke you in the name of Yeshua. Can y'all hear me now? Look, every time we start to talk about things of the Lord like this, we see what happens. Stuff like this happens. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Okay, y'all can hear me now. I was typing in the thing. I was like, okay, can you hear me? Because here we go again. Just like what happened the other night when we were praying for Ricardo. So give me please give me grace and mercy. It is Ricardo. Okay, we were praying for Ricardo, and then that demonic cat was outside the window, and then like we lost my channel again. Interference. In Ephesians 2:2, it says that the prince of the power of the air is the god of this world, who is Satan. And that's in Ephesians 2:2. So if y'all hear me rebuking the prince of the power of the air according to Ephesians 2:2, that's what I'm doing, because he is in the airways and we have to rebuke him. Hey, Tina Bobina. Miss Chewy, how are you doing? Yeah. Did y'all hear me read Revelation 12 at all? Because I think that's when it cut out on me, because I'm telling you, there's something up with that. Oh, yay. Tracy slept better last night. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Lord. Y'all did hear me sing. I did not sing Revelation 12. I would not do that to your ears. Did y'all hear me read Revelation 12? Oh, see? Diamonds. I'm telling y'all, the enemy does not want this information to come out, because he is a liar and he is a thief and he doesn't want the truth to come out. These things are demons. These things are demons. These things are fallen angels. It is Satan being hurled down, in my opinion. And I'm going to read it to you again. Yes, prayer does always help. I'm going to read this one scripture to you, okay? And you tell me what you think. Because the other night, a man showed where another one of these things that was orangish red color also fell. And at the same time, these wildfires are going on in these sporadic places all over. And it's even, the smoke is coming all the way down through New York City, Toronto, Canada, all the way across there. These little fires are being set. Now think about it. These balls of fire, a star is a ball of fire, is being thrown down from heaven. Now, like I said, the Bible says that the angels are called morning stars, okay? And those would be stars. And so therefore, when I'm reading you this, maybe that'll make a little bit more sense to you. Yes, the evil one is lurking for sure. I'm going to read that real quick. I rebuke the enemy, he not win. You are already overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So, okay, it's Revelation 12. We're going to start at verse 7. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the world. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Now think about that for a minute. It says he was hurled to the earth and his angels with him. There's some good stuff that comes right out, so that's good. But I'm going to say, I'm not saying this is for sure right now happening, but it could be, because I believe every word of this Bible is true. And just living sometimes people, but it would not surprise me if that's what's going on. This is the first thing that came to my mind when I heard this last night. Your family's from New York City says it was so bad these past few days. I live in Pennsylvania, but near the Maryland border, and there was so much haze. Yeah, the smoke is horrible. I've got a friend that lives in Canada. She said they've had to close the schools right there with her child where he goes to school, except, I mean, for all the kids. And if they walk, they can't come to school. They have to stay home. If they ride the bus or they're car riders, they can go to school. Now, up until the last time I talked to her, now they might not be able to go at all because the air quality is so bad. They don't want the kids going outside at all. They can't go outside to play. They got to stay inside. And I saw New York City. I went on the live cam to look to see, and it was pretty hazy, I have to say. So we know, what does it say? You know, the first time the earth was destroyed by a flood, and the next time it says will be fire. So I do find that interesting. Let me see if I can find that other piece. I'm not going to stay on long because I'm tired, but this is so interesting to me because I do believe we are living in the last days. I'm just saying, I really believe that with all my heart and all my soul. Like, I believe our generation will not perish until we see the return of our Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. He said he will return in the same way he came. And that is the narrow way. That is the only way. I'm going to read that next verse because it's quite, it'll give you it does give you a glory hallelujah, because after hearing that, it says, well, now come the salvation and the God and the authority of his Messiah, which is Yeshua HaMashiach. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down. Verse 11, they triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filthy, because he knows that his time is short. Now, what do y'all think about that? After reading that verse and with what we saw, and I can prove there's other ones that have been happening, and then these sporadic wildfires, you know, going in places, and it's not just in Canada. There's actually one, I think it's Montana, that's broke out here. I mean, I wonder, like, if these things are like balls of fire hurled to the ground, you know, because say that they are fallen angels and the devil being hurled down into our earth, where they can no longer go back up into heaven, into their first estate, because they still are in that realm right there, because, you know, that's why we still have battles and stuff in the heavenly still, because they still have the ability to be interdimensional. They can come here and they can go there. They can, like in Job, like I mentioned, you know, the devil went up to God and approached him about, you know, and then God asked him where he'd been, and he had been, you know, in the earth, he said, traveling to and fro, looking to who he may devour. That's how Job came up. So, listen, it's serious. It is. I wonder if the skies get this bad in and around California when the wildfires break out. I didn't think I've ever seen it like this. At Selah, everyone you read a verse, you sound robotic and are going in and out every time. Well, of course, the enemy, he is going to try, but he is already defeated. Because y'all can go and look at, I actually put it on the, what I was reading, I put it on the comment section. So if you want to go back and read it, or just look up Revelation 12, verse 7, and just read it. Just read it. And I'm going to try to play this other guy that I was watching the other night. He was showing where we had some weird earthquakes in weird places, and he showed that I think this is him. It's hard to remember. Something 333. Let me find it. It's M something 333. I'm sub to him. I think it's MB. That might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope so. And he shoots a lot of things up in the sky, and like people catch it on their phone and he sends and stuff like that. So I find that interesting. The other night, this is what I saw. It might have been last night. It's hard to remember. This is it right here. This is it. This was from 3 days ago. Let me see if it's. Here we go. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, brown bear usually they do, but they're serious about this. It seems like. Look at that smoke, y'all. How it's covered. Look at that. Michigan. Let's throw it in. Did you hear that? He just said all these sprinklings right here, okay, are wildfires just in the last 96 hours. And look at the way that they're all spread apart like that. I mean, what could cause something like that? Except for things falling from the sky that might be on fire that would hit different areas, in my opinion. I think it might be tied together. That's a lot of smoke. Can y'all see that? That. 400. Did y'all hear that? They're not on fault lines, and it was a 4.2 magnitude. That's odd, don't you think? Kentucky. It's actually right there above South Carolina. It was right there up above Greenville, South Carolina, right beside North Carolina, and right beside East Tennessee, right there, and right under Kentucky. And I guess that was where they felt the waves from it, shock waves. This is the weird one to me. The one right here, New Orleans, right here in the Gulf Stream, right here. This is not a usual activity for earthquakes right here below New Orleans. That's a very odd place. And then we got Cuba over here, and then down here Mexico. I find that, I don't know, I just find that strange. You can't hear. Well, if you can't hear what they're playing because of copyright or something, I'm going to give him credit because I'm using his footage. Um, but yeah, these are stationary lights that they caught that were just hovering. Okay, they weren't moving, I don't think, or anything like that. Um, and then okay, yeah. So this guy's name is Mr. MBB 3 333. So it's capital M, then R like Mr. MBB 333. So I'm going to give him credit for his video because it was for educational purposes. So I want to claim the fair use copyright for that because, yeah, that was a little bit interesting. What do y'all think about that? What's your take? Do y'all think that this has to do with what times we're living in? Do you think this has to do with the Bible and the Bible fulfilling itself? Oh, yeah, you could hear what I was talking, but not what I was showing you. They could have given me a copyright on that because it was somebody else's content. I don't know why they do that, but I'm going to give him credit for it because it's his content. But I just wanted to show that because there was I don't even know if I showed y'all that red thing coming out of the sky. Oh my gosh, I might have to go back and look and see if I saw it. I don't know if I showed y'all that because that's the whole reason I got on there to show it to you, because it was a thing that fell that looked just like that greenish one we just saw fall, but it was an orange color. It was an orangish color. So I wanted to see that, because when I saw that I was like, that's kind of strange. And I heard this other thing last night, so I was just putting those together because I even thought this when I heard that. I don't see it on this one. I thought for sure this was it. Well, that's par for the course. Whenever I'm looking for something, you can't find it. Because they had mentioned about could it be a Chinese weather balloon, but no, because they were talking about how big it was going down behind the trees. They said that it was, really big compared to the trees. So I thought, that's kind of strange. I'm looking to see if I see anything else. Anyone else? There was not us. Sonic booms. That's 10 days ago. They may have seen the same thing. 2,300 mile radius, and it's showing a triangle pattern. Was that it? Maybe. But they'll just give me copyright, so I can't play it anyway. But I just wanted to show y'all what was going on because I don't watch the news. I just don't. I have a hard time doing that because it kind of makes me feel not very happy, let's put it that way. So I have to kind of things just like I run into things and I see it on YouTube or run across it, and I'm just like, what the heck? Now listen, most of the time, if somebody made a phone call like that and said, there are creatures in my backyard, they look like aliens, they're 8 to 10 feet tall, and they heard him on his roof. He described exactly what they looked like. There were 2 of them. And they had already been, and think about this, it took them an hour to even go to these people's houses. Were they afraid to go? Were the police afraid to go? Because he even told them at the end, he said, look, if that thing comes back, you're on your own. So that's a little interesting. So I just thought I wanted to share this with y'all because, listen, we got to be prepared and we got to be ready and we got to look up. We got to be ready for our redemption is drawing nigh. I believe that. I really. and back, I'm talking 5 years back. I don't know how that far. There are some videos. Lord gave me warning, and I'm like I never really believed in that. Not like I just never. My mom interested in it. Never got to start things like that. I just wasn't a science fiction kind of person, but the Lord showed me, I believe He showed me that these things are fallen angels and they're demonic. And just like Lucifer, who fell from his first estate, which he was called a morning star, like all the other morning stars, which are all the angels are called that. But see, Yeshua is called the bright and morning star. That's where people, they kind of get that mixed up or messed up. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys and see what you thought about it. Leave your comments. I told you I'm tired. Leave your comments down below if we've already gone off and you catch this later. And also, if you have any kind of thoughts on what you think it could be, other than what my observation is, because of course I'm looking at it from a Christian perspective. So just tell me what you think. And also, is Ricardo still on here? Hey, Tracy. Just say hey to you earlier. I'm telling you, y'all, this has been a hard day today. My son's birthday's coming up in a couple days. The one that passed away, and my other son, his birthday was just the other day. They're a year and 9 days apart. It's just, I've been having a hard time. Today's been a very hard day. And his son's birthday actually was on the 5th, and we went to his birthday party, and I saw both of his sons there, and just seeing them and knowing they're never going to see their dad again, and how they're missing out because he was such a good dad and he loved them so much. And it's just not fair. It's just not fair at all. And it's not fair to the children. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to his siblings. But, God has a reason why He allows things. And we can ask why if we want to. We may never find out on this side of heaven, but one day we'll see and we'll understand. You're welcome, Diamonds. Oh, thank you, sweetie. It's just 2 months in. I'm still just in the first stages of it. And so my brain's kind of foggy. And if I, forget things, or if I seem like I'm aloof sometimes or a little bit in a fog, that's why. That's what's going on. Oh, listen, it is what it is. This is my new reality. And, I trust God still. And like I said, I can't really be mad at Him because He answered my questions or my prayers, because I know He was saved. So I know I'm going to see Him soon. Look at all this crazy stuff that's going on in this world. I believe that our redemption is drawing nearer than we think. And that's good for me, because I'm telling you, this world is getting so evil. The people, like, who is that mentioned that earlier? Do y'all think that's why the world is getting so evil? Let me look back and see who said that. Was that Tina Babina that said that? Why didn't they take a picture? Oh, well, Tina Babina, if you're still near, the reason they didn't take a picture of the aliens, they said they froze up. Like they could not move, like some kind of, some kind of, what's it called, telekinesis or something? I don't know. Not telekinesis, telepathic something. I don't know. But for some whatever reason, they could not move. And then somebody did say they took a picture, and then they said, but nobody's seen it. But I can assure you who has seen it. I can assure you that our government has seen it. And I can assure you that whoever is in charge of this department and all these things, they're not going to release that right now. They'll release it when they're ready to release it, but not until. And that's why it's been 2 weeks since this happened on this particular one. Now, that other one, that orangish red one that I saw the other day, that was just the other day, but this one has been a couple weeks. And then they said that men in suits came back, and followed up, like, and were driving some kind of SUV with a government tag. I'm like, that sounds like the doggone movie Men in Black. That's crazy. But listen, movies do mimic more life things than you think. It's kind of crazy. I can't remember. I can't find out who said it. Brown Bear says, I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. People are acting horrible. They are, Brown Bear. And, in the days of Noah, remember it said the mingling of the seed was the problem. That is why the flood, to kill the Nephilim, because, it says in the Bible there were giants in those days and even after that. But, it was because the angels came down and they chose for themselves women who were the daughters of men, and they lay with them, and they bore Nephilim, which they were called giants in those days, which if somebody is 8 to 10 feet tall, that would count as a giant. But they're fallen angels mixed with people. So that, and they found the bones and the stuff of that kind of thing. You need to look that up, because that's actually things that they've found, like archaeologists on digs. They've found actual people with the skeletons that are up to 13 feet tall. And in the Bible, it talks about David and Goliath. And he was a giant. That's not just a story like a little fairy tale. That's real. So we've got to understand that the wheat and the tares, it says in the Bible that the wheat and the tares must grow up together until the end. And the reason is because if God said if the tares were to be pulled up too early, then it could also disrupt the wheat before the wheat is ready. Now, we're the wheat, okay? And because we're the harvest, but the tares are what the enemy sows. That's like the weeds. So that's why until the end, we just have to deal with the evil. And it says the evil will grow more evil and the righteous will grow more in righteousness. Oh, hey, Hopeful. We were just showing about this light, and it's not the only one. It's one of many that have been seen. But it looked like a ball of fire. You'll have to go back whenever we get off here, because we're fixing to not long from now. Because I was tired, and after I saw this again on the news for like the third time since late last night, I was like, I've got to put this out there, because it made me think of Revelation 12 whenever I saw it. And so it's basically these men and young boy, a family in Las Vegas, called in to 911, and the actual 911 one of the cops had caught it on his camera, that big huge fireball light. It was greenish looking, and it fell to the ground, and they said they were looking out their back window and they saw two figures in their backyard between 8 and 10 feet tall. And you'll just have to go back and watch it, because honestly, me describing it does not do it justice at all. It is very, I'm telling you, I mean, I believe that it's possibly fallen angels, and Revelation 12:7, where Michael fought, you know, with the other angels, and they tried to fight back, Satan and his fallen angels, and they fell, and they lost their estate. So, anyway, and other people might have a different opinion on that, but if they do, I would love them to leave it in the comment, because I would love. I mean, I just don't believe in I don't believe in regular aliens as in benign entities or anything like that. I believe that God would have told us about that. And I also believe that, now I do believe that these things are interdimensional, like I said. And I do believe that they've given our own military information on how to do certain things. If you read the book of Ezekiel, it will tell you, the book of Enoch, it'll tell you a lot about this stuff. The Watchers and stuff, and the fallen angels, and the Nephilim, and that's even in the book of Genesis. Oh, excuse me, where the flood and all that, and why the flood, and what's going on again, and why are they messing with our DNA, with those mRNA. That's all I'm gonna say. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V. You know what I'm saying? They'll catch you on everything you say. If you say anything, I mean, they took my dream down that I had before these hokers came out. I had a dream about them, and the Lord warned me against it ahead of time, like right when, like a couple months after the actual, thing hit us. And yeah, the Lord was like, no. And he showed me about the blood, like it had something to do with the blood brain barrier, and it had to do with our DNA, because trying to get a blood access line with 3 humongous, I don't know what to call them, because if I say the wrong thing, pokes, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you can go back and no, because they took that one down. That's what I was saying. I even said it was a dream. I'm like, this is a dream I had, and they literally took it down, and I came against it, and they still wouldn't let me have it, even though I said it's a dream. How are you going to control somebody's dreams, for goodness sakes? That ought to tell us something right there. Definitely go back and watch it, hopeful, because this is some crazy stuff. I'm just going to tell you. We living in some crazy times. We better be prayed up. Because, I mean, I really believe that things are about to get revved up pretty good. Because if we're seeing these creatures come down, and we're seeing go back and look at my video as well from 12/12 of 2019. Go take a look at that if you get a chance, because it's weird. It'll go with this. Honey, hold on a minute. You can come in here. I'm getting off. But anyway, my daughter's coming in here. I love you guys, and I just wanted to share this with you. And hopeful, definitely go back and watch it, because you just got to see it with your own eyes. But anyway, I love you guys, and I think Ricardo left, or I would have prayed for him again. But anyway, Ricardo, I'm praying for you. We're all praying for you. I love you all. And thank you for sticking in with me, and I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night. I love you guys.